Welcome to the What in the World of Graph podcast, where legacy meets liquidity and every sale tells a story. I'm John Schultz, Chief Marketing and Technology Officer at Graph Auction, and each week we share lessons, stories, and insights from inside the world of business auctions, equipment sales, and asset recovery. Today we're diving deep into a monumental project, the auction of the legendary Arlington Park International Racecourse. What happens when a nearly 100-year-old institution spanning 326 acres closes its doors? It's more than just a sale. It's a master class in managing immense scale, navigating complex marketing, and understanding that sometimes you're not just selling equipment, you're selling history. The lessons from Arlington Park are powerful for any business owner facing a major transition, no matter the size. Our first and perhaps most critical lesson from the Arlington Park project is the importance of mastering scale with expert strategy. When Churchill Downs, the owners of Arlington Park, first approached us, the initial thought was that this massive undertaking could be handled in a single auction event. We knew immediately that wasn't feasible. Imagine a 326-acre property, a grandstand built for 35,000 people, offices, kitchens, jockey quarters, and maintenance facilities, all filled with assets accumulated over 95 years. We're talking about nearly 18,000 lots. To try and liquidate that in one go would have been chaotic. It would have overwhelmed buyers and dramatically suppressed the value of the assets. Our team proposed a series of 17 auctions. After discussion, we agreed to start with a plan for 12 to 14, but as we dug in, the true scope became clear. We ultimately conducted 20 distinct auction rounds over 176 days. Why does this matter? Because breaking a colossal project into strategic, manageable phases is the only way to ensure success. Each auction could be tailored to a specific asset category, from commercial kitchen equipment to track maintenance machinery to coveted memorabilia. This allowed us to market each event to the right audience and give bidders the time and focus they needed. The universal lesson here is this: when facing an overwhelmingly large project, we resist the urge to rush. Seek expert guidance to scope it correctly. Proper strategic planning isn't about slowing things down, it's about creating the conditions to maximize value. This brings me to our second key insight: the power of multifaceted, story driven marketing. The bidders for Arlington Park weren't a single uniform group. On one hand, you had restaurant owners from across the Midwest looking for high quality kitchen equipment. And on the other, you had lifelong horse racing fans and Chicago locals who wanted a piece of history, a grandstand seat, a piece of signage, a memento from a place filled with memories. A one size fits all marketing campaign would have failed. Our marketing and technology teams had to build a dynamic, multifaceted strategy. We used targeted digital ads on Google and Facebook, changing our audience focus for each of the 20 auction events. We leveraged the extensive local and national media coverage, which drove a huge amount of traffic to the auction site. But most importantly, we focused on telling the story of the location. We understood that for many, this wasn't just an asset sale. It was the final chapter of a beloved institution. By weaving the nostalgia and legacy of Arlington Park into our campaigns, we attracted a much broader audience than a typical equipment auction. The takeaway is powerful. Always look for the intangible value. What is the story behind your assets? Tapping into that emotional connection can bring in bidders you'd never otherwise reach and create a sense of urgency that drives incredible results. Finally, I want to talk about what happens after the final hammer falls. The third lesson from Arlington Park is the critical importance of the final handover. In this case, the sale of the 326-acre property to the Chicago Bears was a separate, massive transaction, and that deal was conditional on the property being delivered in a clean, well-maintained state after our auction was complete. Imagine the logistical challenge: thousands of items from small memorabilia to massive kitchen hoods being removed by thousands of different buyers over several months. Our job wasn't just to sell the assets, it was to manage the entire recovery and cleanout process to perfection. If we failed, it would have jeopardized our client's much larger real estate sale. Our team's experience in managing large scale liquidations was crucial. We ensured a smooth, orderly process from start to finish. This underscores a vital business principle. A true partner understands the bigger picture. The auction was a means to an end for our client, clearing the facility to finalize their land sale. A successful engagement isn't just about getting the highest price, it's about delivering a comprehensive professional service that protects your client's interests at every stage. So, what can we learn from the monumental task at Arlington Park? First, respect the scale and plan strategically. Break down massive challenges into manageable parts. Second, understand that marketing is about more than specs and prices. It's about telling a story that connects with a diverse audience. And third, true professionalism means seeing the project through to the very end, ensuring a clean handover that supports your client's ultimate goals. At Graph Auction, this is what we do. We don't just run auctions. We manage complex business transitions with the strategic foresight and executional expertise needed to deliver maximum value every single time. Thanks for joining us for this episode of What in the World of Graph podcast. You can find more stories like this at graphauction.com/blog or follow us on Facebook, Instagram, or LinkedIn. If you're facing a business transition, asset sale, or need help navigating liquidation, reach out. We're here to help you get the most value with integrity and speed. I'm John Schultz, and I'll see you next time.